Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I know you all wanted to escape outside to the beautiful weather, so thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. We have a great panel right now. We're going to be talking about referral marketing, and we have some terrific perspectives from the end. Marissa Ellstein from American Express, Alison Ehrmann from Fresh Direct, and Jenna Klebanoff from Casper. And I'm going to ask them each to introduce themselves to you, tell you a little bit about their brands, and then we're going to have a deep dive discussion on referral marketing. So you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa Ellstein. As mentioned, I work with American Express. I have been there for almost 10 years now in a variety of roles around digital marketing and product management. So back in 2012, I rebuilt our referral program from ground up and then managed it until through the end of 2014. But now I'm here to speak about it. I currently am overseeing a ton of our digital customer assets and websites online.
Hi, I'm Alison Ehrmann. I work at Fresh Direct. I run the consumer marketing division there, where I oversee acquisition, retention, and loyalty of our customers. For those of you who don't live in the New York area, Fresh Direct is an online grocer. We've been delivering groceries for over 13 years. We are you order today for delivery tomorrow. And we recently launched a sister brand called Food Kick, which we're piloting in Brooklyn, and that is delivery within an hour. And that's kind of a millennial focus. So, and we're expanding that business. We're expanding all our businesses, so we're excited.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna Klebanoff. I run retention and CRM at Casper. Can I see with hands who is familiar with Casper here? Awesome. That's pretty good. That's the good thing about being in New York. For those of you who don't know, we're a direct-to-consumer e-commerce sleep startup. We've been around just over 2 years now. We launched with one really amazing, perfect mattress. We now sell sheets and pillows as well. We're looking to really just take over the sleep environment, the whole ecosystem, and make it really easy for everyone. So while you guys are here, if any of you guys are not from New York, we have a showroom downtown in NoHo. You're welcome to stop by, check it out, get a mattress.
All right, so as you can see, we have quite a variety of different industries covered, different kind of aspects of how and why you use referral marketing. So I think we're going to start with just, a basic question and, talk to our attendees here about why you started a referral program and, what to think about, if you're thinking about it right now, or if you've maybe tried it and it didn't work so well. What are the reasons for putting a program together, and how's it work for you?
Sure, I can start. So at Casper, like I said, we launched just over 2 years ago, and word of mouth was huge for us from the start. Our early customers are what really kind of grew the brand to what it is today, and that was before we even had a formal referral program. So referral for us was really just a way, it was like a mechanism for allowing those customers to share Casper with their friends. So we knew that they were doing it already, but referral gave them a really good incentive to share, gave their friend an incentive to buy, and a way for us to actually track what was happening, because we know there's a lot more going outside of the referral program with kind of just more traditional word of mouth, and this just allows us to track it even better.
I agree with you, and I think for us being in the food business, people think that they need to pick out their food and touch it and understand what the quality is going to be, and that's one of our biggest barriers to acquisition or to trial, is that they really just don't understand, how am I going to get quality food? And so having a referral program and having someone you know and trust who uses us recommend it and say, no, I know you and I know you'll love this, is really powerful. And so really trying to harness the recommendations from a friend or another trusted voice is really important in getting people to try our business for the first time.
So the difference is, so for the first two brands, I mean, what you said is absolutely true. I mean, we all want to try out our mattresses and we want to pick out our own produce. The American Express approach has to be something a little different because we don't need to touch the card before we buy.
Right. So I think that makes it a little bit more simple when you have, word of mouth or referral. It's more about communicating that message and what the value proposition is for our products, but there's definitely also an emotional component to it too. And so the difference for us is our referral program started many years after American Express was a well-known brand. So it was really understanding that we had such a great loyal customer base and looking to leverage them and activate them as evangelists and advocates for the brand. And so we've seen that, like you hear so many customer testimonials, et cetera, about how, more than just how Amex was a great, provided a great payment method, but we're also known as a service company. So how we've helped, there's numerous occasions where Amex saved my day, Amex saved me from this incident, et cetera. So really leveraging those instances as well to promote the brand and our specific product.
So tell us a little bit about how your programs are structured. Who owns the program and who else in the company is involved in implementing and strategizing?
Sure. So at Casper, it's kind of interesting. Our referral program sits on the retention team. I know traditionally in a lot of other companies it would sit on acquisition because it's acquiring new customers. But for us, we're really leveraging our existing customer base to refer their friends. A lot of programs will just post it right on their site for the public. We really focus on our customers and turning them into advocates. So that's why it kind of sits on my team. Our program structure is a give 50, get 50. So give your friends $50 off a Casper mattress and you'll get a $50 Amazon gift card. We would love to turn that into Casper credit one day, but we only sell 3 products now. So that's kind of, one day we'll get there. And I have somebody who manages the program full time. It's probably about 60-70% of her job is referral and making it better and coming up with new testing ideas and really learning about our customers and why they are advocates, why they're not, if they're not, how we can turn them into advocates.
It makes complete sense that it would be in the retention side, but we have it in the acquisition side, and I think you could go back and forth on it. But it's definitely, it helps keep your loyal customers, but we use this as an acquisition tool, and the senior director of acquisition is ultimately responsible for setting the strategy, and she has a coordinator who works a lot on the nuts and bolts and getting it out the door and spends a lot of time just maximizing the program. Our offer right now, I think could be a little bit cleaner. Our traditional acquisition offer is $50 off your first 2 orders because we're in a replenishment business and our loyal customers shop once and twice a week because you got to eat. So we have that as an acquisition offer, but the referrer gets $50.
So another cool difference between our first 2 brands is, how often the purchase is made. And so the approach to a referral program has to be, so completely different because we're talking about, we're shopping for food several times a week. We're shopping for mattresses.
7 to 10 years.
And that's why we can offer Fresh Direct credits and not have to.
So is that what the advocate gets? It's a $50 credit. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense.
So for us, ours right now sits in prospect acquisition as well, but I definitely look at the program and also talk about it as both an acquisition and a loyalty play. We definitely find that it deepens the relationships with our customers and strengthens loyalty. And for us, the way we reward our customers, if they help us acquire a new card member, is through giving back through the monetary value reward currency of their card. So for example, if it's an American Express card that has membership rewards points that you can earn through, they earn membership rewards points. If it's like a co-brand card, like a Starwood card, for example, they earn star points back. And so that keeps them also wanting to use that specific product and continue to earn on it to get rewards for themselves.
So you're able to tie it directly to your loyalty
Correct.
program, which is that something that you're doing at Casper and at Fresh Direct as well?
We don't have a formal loyalty program. We do have a couple things that kind of relate to loyalty. That's a whole separate topic. But we do see that our customers who refer generally have higher NPS scores because they love us, so they're more likely to tell their friends. We see people who are socially active, and our social media team is amazing, and they respond to every tweet, and they do really funny animated GIFs that they send out, and they really interact with the customers. We see that those guys who interact with our team there are much more likely to refer and be vocal about it, just not a formalized loyalty relationship.
What kind of loyalty program do you have at Fresh Direct?
Our biggest channel of loyalty is actually our paid membership program, which is Delivery Pass. And so for an annual fee, you get unlimited deliveries. And we find that it really drives loyalty and repeat purchases because you can have as many deliveries as you want for free. So what I would, so it's not integrated into that program yet, but what I really would like to do, one of the initiatives for the next couple months is how do we use the referral program to get more members into that paid membership program.
Right.
So it's not even people within the Fresh Direct community, but then how do we take people who are maybe occasional shoppers, driving them into our Delivery Pass program and making them loyal by
You can
using
turn
them.
that into the advocate reward.
Yep.
Membership into that.
Sure.
So what kind of analytics are you using to understand your customers in order to, it's kind of a step back, in order to put your loyalty program together? How are you putting that together based on what you know about your customers?
Yeah, we've done some surveys to see what people want. I mean, $50 Amazon gift card is really strong. It's basically cash, so there's not much we could do better than that, than increase the value of it probably. So we just try to present it to them in all the channels that they would want to see it. So immediately post-purchase, we present the referral program to our customers. In emails, they see it. In the box when they get their Casper mattress or their Casper sheets or pillow, there's an insert about referral. So we're trying to capitalize on those moments of excitement and joy with receiving our products or purchasing them.
Yeah, I think with analytics too, there's the whole customer flow, right? So also there's more targeted forms and then more just broad scale. So we find email is the most targeted, so that's where you have the highest response rate. But then to get a broader reach and continue, especially when you have customers who are only shopping with you every 7 years or something, you want to keep scaling it out and getting the word out. So that's where social media comes into play, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Because then your customers are talking to their friends who are talking to their friends, and you just have that much more broad of a reach. But then once you pull them in, it's understanding the flow. So for us, our whole referral program is tracked online. So it's how you bring them in, your customers actually getting them to submit a referral. And then also on the other side, how are you getting that conversion back? And for us, it's all the way through submitting an application. So really understanding those web analytics and where you need to actually optimize the customer journey online to get that referral. So it's more than just getting the offer in front of the customer, but then continuing and making sure that they complete the transaction.
I would say from there though, while you want people sharing in any channel you give them, so if you can give an advocate the option to share a URL, to share via email, to share Facebook, Twitter. Facebook and Twitter are great, it's getting out there, but for us we see that more friends are converting one-to-one through people sharing their links or one-to-one via email. So it's great to get our name out there and have people tweeting and putting it on Facebook, but it just doesn't convert the same.
Right, which had the higher response rate is the email.
Yeah.
I'll talk about I agree with everything you said. We're seeing very similar things at Fresh Direct, but one slightly different KPI that we're looking at is the value of the customer we're bringing on through referrals. We score every new customer who comes into Fresh Direct with, we give them a rank 1 to 10, and we find that the highest ranking new customers come from the referral program. And they're the most likely to become loyal customers. And it's going back to what we were saying before. It's that your best customers are bringing in people like them and that they know will like the business. And so those are people who are going to be most loyal for us and spend the most money. So that's why referral is an important and growing piece of our business because it's not only quantity, but it's also the quality of customers that you're bringing in.
And that's where I think, we've done test out because we find the same thing, but even a step further than that, what's great about the referral program is that we find like refers like. So if you target your high value card members, they're likely bringing in also high value card members versus just any typical card member or someone who might not be loyal with you or might not bring as much value. So with that, when you speak about offers, there's also the opportunity to target, provide a higher offer either to the existing customer or their friend that's a higher value card member because you're going to get more worth out of them over the long period.
And then that friend is probably also more likely to refer their friends and respond to the program because they know they came in that way. So if you use that emotional tie and say, hey, your friend referred you to this amazing product that you're now using, tell all of your friends, it's much more likely to happen and be successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good point to, targeting your higher value customers rather than spreading it across just, the entire base or the entire prospect base, because you're not going to get the return on investment that we're talking about. Were there other key performance indicators that you wanted to mention that you're using to judge the success of the program?
For us, we look at percent advocacy. So like I said, we only focus on our existing customers. So the higher percent of them that we could turn into advocates who start referring their friends, the better off the whole program's going to be. That's kind of like the top of the referral funnel, is getting people to start referring, then everything kind of like trickles down from there.
Yeah, agreed.
So what are some of the other things that you do to build a customer into a loyal customer and then into a brand advocate?
What do you guys want to start?
Sure. I mean, I think, the first thing is it's just having an excellent product. I mean, that's
Yes,
that's it. It's just making sure that for us that the food, it tastes good, it's good quality, has long shelf life, all of that. And then there's your service experience is also very good. I think it's also then trying to weave into the marketing and reminding people about why Fresh Direct is better than going to the grocery store, and constantly trying to bubble up things that we think that they're going to like and enjoy, because we're 100% e-commerce, we don't have the luxury of a retail store where a lot of people go to the supermarket and they take their cart and they might have 10 things that they want to buy that day, but they go up and down the aisles and it's an emotional shop, and it's like, I didn't know I wanted Malamars, or oh, chicken would be good tonight. And trying to create those experiences so people are satisfied, their fridges are full and satisfied, making those experiences and keeping them shopping all the time will then make sure that we have the most loyal customers who are going to refer.
Yeah, so I think to Alison's point, the foundation, right, obviously is the product. No one at the end of the day, no matter how you market it or the market referring, if they're not a proponent of your product, they're not going to want to tell their friends and other folks about it. But I think then with that, it's capitalizing on that and those moments where they have just had a satisfied experience with you or some type of satisfied interaction with you. And so they're in that moment where they would do something on your behalf. And so it's really integrating into those customer moments and customer touch points and promoting, say, oh, you just, received a new card, or you just had a delicious meal, or you just had a great night's sleep. Like, why don't you refer your friend?
Some of the things are really more about building the relationship with your customers in a time when you're not asking them to do something for you, right? You want to, that's how you build brand advocacy, right? And that
right.
we're all talking about that
brand,
relationship.
so that I think that's where they do it more proactively. I think you have to capture both. I think sometimes it's just providing them also the tools, right? Especially because a lot of this we're talking about in order to track it is online, so you need to provide them the tools. So there was this Texas study I read recently that was published that basically said 83% of your customers are willing to refer you, but only 29% actively do. And that's because they weren't given the ability to do so when they were interacting with you. So whether it be like on your mobile device or on your computer or what may you just want to make sure that you're providing those tools. So if you want them to send an email, is that embedded into your experience? If you want them to push out a tweet on Twitter, et cetera.
I would totally agree with that. When I started at Fresh Direct 2.5 years ago, we had a homegrown referral program. And it was kind of one of those programs that was built and forgotten about. And anytime we wanted to make a change, it had to get in the app dev queue, and it took a while, and you had to create a business case. And this was just for changing offers or emails. Yeah. And then, forget about integrating new assets on the site or on, wherever it is, all the different touch points. And it was really hard to get anything done. And we, about 6 months ago, switched over to Extol, who's here today. And just by making it easier and more visible, we're up 60%. And we're not doing like crazy stuff.
Right.
It's just really making it so much easier for people to say, yes, I will refer.
Right, and I think they have that widget that embeds in it, and it gives you the options to promote via email, Twitter, Facebook, your own personal URL, etc. So I think it's also about giving options. And then more people are going to refer to, I think, if there's not only ease, but flexibility. So you can only maybe promote a brand so many times, but also if you have a product or a specific service too, you're providing more options. So they can promote just the general brand. So we have ways to just promote American Express, but then also like one of our specific products as well.
And I was thinking when you were talking earlier about the fact that, sometimes establishing that relationship with your customers or getting them to know the brand, you might do something like a pop-up shop. Well, that doesn't work for any of you. That's not the kind of thing you can't, put your mattress out in a pop-up shop.
We do actually,
Do you?
yeah. We have showrooms in New York and San Francisco, and we actually have a vehicle called the Nap Tour that drives around the country. It
I
has
stand corrected.
It has 4 nap pods in it, so
Okay.
we say you don't need to try the mattress. You really don't. We have a 100-night risk-free trial, and for your returns, we pick it up at your door. But people still want to come and meet us, see what we're all about, try it out. You're not going to figure out in 5 minutes how you're going to sleep over 10 years, but it's helpful for people to just kind of understand the product better. And that's a really great touch point. We see people who we do interact with in person at the Nap Tour at one of our showrooms are much more likely to convert, and given that they've talked to Casper employees, they're probably better referral advocates as well because they have just a closer experience with the brand than our average e-com customer.
I was going to say what you can do is that's just a smaller scale, right? Only a certain amount of people are going to come. But what's great is then you're capitalizing on people who've actually experienced it. And then if they tell people that trust them who've actually been able to try out the mattress, it's going to go that much farther. I think in today's age too, when people want to see, kitschy videos or fun things like those, you can promote more now too. So if you provide your product too in a special kind of wrapping or something, you'll notice people want to shop that. So, I think it's understanding that and how you also go about packaging and things that make people want to spread the word more as well.
So let's talk a little bit about marketing in 2 ways. Marketing your program internally with your employees and how you educate them about it and get them to be internal advocates, as well as how are you marketing your program out in public.
Sure. So internally, everyone loves the program. It's a huge revenue driver. One challenge is just making sure our customer experience team understands it from start to finish and has the tools at their disposal. If somebody calls and has a question or has an issue, they can go into the back end and fix it or figure out what's going on. So we have all the buy-in we need internally. I'm kind of tasked with making it bigger and better and figuring out what other marketing channels we can test and how we can get it out there more. So in terms of channels, order confirmation page is huge for us. So like I said, capturing those key moments when people are really excited about their purchase. So order confirmation page, email, it's in the footer of all of our customer emails pretty much. It's in the mattress and sheets and pillows boxes. We've done some direct mail testing, which hasn't been huge, but it's been helpful. We're trying to figure out what are those offline ways to promote referral, because online it's really obvious and there are people who are comfortable doing it online. But then there are people who are just never really going to be comfortable sharing a URL with a friend, especially if they're getting a reward from it. I think it just makes some people feel a little awkward. So we're trying to figure out how we can make that feel better or make it easier. We've thought about, should people just have promo codes that work on our website? Like, could I be able to tell a friend, oh, just type Jenna at checkout, you'll get $50 off. Will that make it easier for people to refer and make them feel less awkward? And we don't have all the answers yet, but those are some of the things we're thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, right now, email and on-site are our biggest channels, but I think that there's so much more that we could be doing in social. I think especially when, we mentioned earlier, Food Kick is our new on-demand brand, and that's geared towards millennials. And millennials are, from what I'm reading and understanding, is a lot less receptive to traditional advertising. And so I think that tapping into millennials and social networking and referrals can be a really strong combination. And as we are expanding that business, I'm definitely looking to have referrals be a huge part of of growing that business.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's similar for us in terms of channels. Right now, we're heavy really just within our website and mobile experiences. A lot of people come there, returning customers to pay bills, etc. So it's a place that we can often promote them, and it's visual and they'll see it, and it's specific to the product. So we can personalize the message based on the product they have for American Express. We have dabbled in trying like direct mail, working in our phone, our customer representative calls as well. So people call in, depending on the conversation, what they're calling into, it working into the telescripts if it makes sense to say, hey, do you want to refer the program? So things like that, and working to figure out. I think it's a lot of test and learn for companies, considering based on the reach you can get as well as the cost. So clearly digital and being on our website is pretty insignificant cost, whereas direct mail is extremely costly. So you want to understand the actual response rates and your conversions if it's actually worthwhile.
One other thing I'm interested in exploring, I don't know if you guys have any experience with this, is how to tapping into the blog network and referrals. Because we're in the food space and there's so much being written and photographed about food, and people get really emotional about it and excited about food. And how do and a lot of the local bloggers in the area are certainly our customers. So how do they might not have that one-on-one relationship, they might not know everyone's name, but their readers feel like they know the blog writers. And so how do we harness that that influence and that credibility through the referral networks to help us really expand and have them become super advocates for us? At the same time, the bloggers are earning money for and credits against something that they already are using and love. So that's something I'm really interested in exploring.
I think the nature of the credit cards and blogging, there's a lot out there, and so there's a lot of people who do competitive research and are aware of our referral offer, so they'll often pick it up and like push out a link, noting that there is a credit along with them if they promote people. So I think we actually do see that on your own. It's a lot about just PR and publicizing it for the bloggers. So we just see a lot of that, I think, in the nature of our industry. And then there's a fine line. And then there's certain ones we go after, too, I think, that are considered more affiliates, where there's more of that affiliate relationship with is a little bit different how they get a bounty for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I feel like once you start getting into that, it kind of borderlines on affiliate, especially given their volume. And that's not a space we really play in at Casper. We really want to focus on our existing customers and getting them to tell all their friends about it. It's more personal, so I don't have a lot of feedback.
Do you use any kind of educational programs? I'm thinking, educating your customers about sleep habits and that type of thing, and healthy eating and financial planning. Do you use those kinds of programs to help build, your brand advocates?
Yeah, we use it to help build the relationship. And again, with somebody who's buying a mattress every 7 to 10 years, pillows and sheets a little more frequently than that, they're still not going to be coming to our website every day to purchase products. So we're really focused on content. We have a blog. We have an editorial property called Van Winkle's that is kind of operated separately from Casper. It has its own website, own email list, everything. So we try to do what we can to give them content and send them really great, high-quality emails so that we stay top of mind. And then kind of in that is our referral link in the footer. And if they're so inclined, or not even that, if they're talking to a friend who's moving or getting married or just needs a mattress, they'll hopefully think of Casper because we're communicating with them pretty regularly.
Yeah, I would say I think there's a number of things we've done. American Express is a very well-known household name. So I think building the brand we've done, and we have we have also, depending on the division, like for our small business customers, we have our open forum site that has a lot of content on helping businesses grow their businesses. For consumers, we have a number of different things in terms of like access and services and sweepstakes, etc. So there's various ways, but I think to Jenna's point, it's then just figuring out how to easily embed that to say like, hey, if you like it, refer it. So I think there's a number of ways they do it, but specific to referral marketing and referral acquisition, it's then how do we capitalize on that brand that exists.
Experience is very similar.
Yeah. So what have been some of the best programs that you've done? I mean, I'm sure you're analyzing the success of your referral programs. What have been, off the top of your head, some of the initiatives that have really worked well?
For us, the lowest hanging fruit is order confirmation page and all of those immediate post-purchase emails. But focusing on MPS promoters has been huge, and sending them more personalized communications about referral. Also arming our customer experience team, kind of like you were saying, if somebody reaches out and says, thank you so much, you've been so helpful, I'm going to tell all my friends, we'll then reach back out to them and say, actually, here's a really great way to tell all your friends, thanks. Yeah, those are kind of the main things. Like I said, we've tested things like direct mail, and we have some more creative ideas on ways to do that in the future, but nothing that's been groundbreaking yet.
We did something cute, and we saw a small lift a couple of years, maybe last year. It was for Best Friends Day. There's a day for everything. And so it was Best Friends Day, and we just used it as an opportunity to talk about, now is a great time to refer a friend. And I think we had some cute creative where there was like peanut butter and jelly and different foods that go great together, and you and your friends, and here's an opportunity to share. We did an email, a standalone email, so it wasn't just, at the footer, it was here, today, only, or not only, but today's Best Friends Day, tell your best friends. And did some social assets as well, and we saw a nice little bump for that. So just trying to take advantage of things that are going on in kind of the environment to that might lend itself well to referral, I think is, just keeping an eye out for those was a nice little win.
Yeah, not much. We do the same thing. We do some specific referral marketing emails in addition to just embedding them in like a servicing or other marketing message. Again, I think right now our success is really in like our site, our logged in site for our customers. So if you're coming on your like pay bill statement, et cetera, to push out online banner ads.
How much is too much when you're sending out those kinds of emails? Do you
I think, we're in a slightly different business because our customers are shopping sometimes twice a week. So I think we can get away with probably touching, emailing our customers more often than, say, maybe Casper can. Because, we have that luxury because we're in such a high frequency game that, for some people, twice a week is going to be too much. Other people, daily, tell me what's on sale right now, what's great, and just finding that right balance is important. But we have high touch points with our customers.
Yeah. And so just finally, before we open it up for some questions, so what are the best steps to take if you're thinking about kicking off a referral marketing effort? What are some things you should be careful of and make, change management, C-level buy-in, or what are the best steps you think to take to get it kicked off?
So I think it's, you start small and then you grow. So I think it's a lot about testing, and you can start smaller with like email, for example, right, where you can be a lot more targeted and kind of prove out the KPIs and actually acquiring customers first and then branch out from there. And I think it's like any other marketing program out there that you want. So you want to, start with your like goals and your strategy around that and hypotheses, and then it's a lot about test and learn through the promotional offer, the channels you want to be in, etc. So I think it's just ever evolving, and what I would say is there's so much like evolving today in ways that you can access through different networks. Referral marketing really comes down to word of mouth being trackable and really just something more that is controlled by the business that we monitor. But it started out face to face, then went to email. Now there's social networks. So like, what's next, and how is that going to be differing when people are using a lot more kind of visuals to promote things, etc. So I think there's just a ton of opportunity out there that we're going to wait to see, and just it really comes down to always having it on, being simple, embedding it into all your key moments, and just, the more flexible, more simple, more options you provide, the better.
Yeah, and I came in, I inherited a program, so I didn't have to do the buy-in. But the good thing was everyone in the marketing department understood the power of referral and understood how word of mouth is such a powerful tool because really, at the end of the day, if you go back 14 years ago, that's how the business was founded in a lot of ways. It might not have been in a formalized referral program, but it was word of mouth, and it spread out to neighborhood until now we're in 5 states. So with a lot more marketing on top of it. But the thing that did surprise me is I expected pushback or from our tech team when I had to go to them and say, I want to replace what was built and I want to do something different. And had all the arguments of why it was better and found like they didn't want to support it anymore. They didn't want, they're like, great, this is one less thing that we have to do now, because we were hounding them because we knew the importance and we wanted to do more and more testing and they just couldn't support it. So I was prepared for this fight, and it was like, here you go. Go ahead. You can have it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd say buy-in for me was really easy too. I mean, I also inherited a program that existed already, but compared to the rest of our acquisition channels, just the CPA and the ROAS for referral is off the charts. Like, you can't even compare it. So the more customers we can get to refer their friends, the better. And I'd say best tip to start is just make sure you're putting together an offer structure that works for your advocates and for potential new customers. Make it really simple to understand. You don't want to overcomplicate it. And then just, test from there and see what happens.
Yeah, I think the other thing to say about that is it's a pretty cost-efficient channel, or program. So if you look across, like, what you might be putting into, like direct mail, for example, or some other marketing initiatives, some big events, et cetera, that you might do. Once it's set up, the cost is really only the referral offer that you're providing, which is really only given and a cost once you actually acquire a new customer. So you're really like that differential you're looking at. It's pretty great. So I think it's the investment of setting it up, but once it's there, you're just really more, benefiting, and the value is a lot more stronger.
Right, you can either just let it run, which is great on its own. That's kind of what Casper was doing before I came in and had some time to spend on it. But then once you start playing with other channels and other ways to promote it, it's obviously just going to get bigger.
Excellent. All right. So we have just a few minutes left. Does anyone have a question? Hi, Scott.
What systems and tools are you guys using that you're finding are making your life easier with CRM? We're a Shopify business, so we run on Shopify. There's a lot of apps. You can integrate into them, but are there any
Systems or tools?
as well as the referral program itself?
I'd say for me, Looker has been life-changing. We just started using Looker about maybe 3 or so months ago, and it's insane just having all of our data pulling into one place and being able to query off multiple platforms, from our business warehouse, which our referral data is flowing into, from our email program to our e-com data, and just pulling together a report that can look at all of those has been unbelievable.
Well, we're in the middle of a tech refresh, so we're about to get a whole bunch of new stuff. But, I mentioned earlier, Extol for referral was great. The other thing, we're looking at companies like Agile One, which will, again, aggregate data across a bunch of other areas, disparate areas, to have a single customer view. We just launched, and we're excited about Correlate with social shopping on Instagram for our Food Kick app. So that's something that we're interested in. Those are just a few of them.
Yeah, I think for us, it's a lot of internal American Express systems built out over time. I built out the program internally, but we are now have engaged Extol as well to help with some of the embedding in the experiences and the widget that they offer, et cetera.
Any other?
Question here,
Go ahead.
for Casper, I'm just curious, with the 100-day return policy, you happen to track how many people you pay referral on to the first customer, and then they return their mattress?
Yeah, it's a good question. So that was something we were obviously concerned about when we launched. We send out the referral reward 6 days post-purchase. So all we're really checking for is your kind of standard frauds and bots and people placing an order and then canceling right away. And we're seeing our return rates for referral in line with our overall programs, so we're kind of okay with that. It doesn't seem like people are really taking advantage of the program. Obviously, if that changed, we would have to rethink it. But yeah, it's something we kind of thought about. Do we want to wait until after the 100 nights to give someone their reward? But that kind of changes the whole structure of referral. There's no immediate gratification, and if you get that reward 6 days post your friend's purchase, you might be inclined to refer again, versus 3 months later, you might have forgotten that you even referred them.
Good question. Anyone else have any questions?
I do. When you send out the referral communications or your customers do, are you providing something in addition to the end who's being referred to come back and trial or to transact with you? Is it different than some other offers you may provide for other marketing channels?
Right now, our offers are, we have a variety of offers, but our most standard one is 50 off your first order, 50 off your second order, and we're using the same in referral as we are in, say, our direct mail, just because we see that to be one of the richest offers, and we can get very targeted with direct mail and the modeling. And the same thing with the referrers. We as I mentioned earlier, we know that the people coming in from referral, word of mouth, are so much likely to convert to loyal, so we can offer more money in the referral program than we would, say, in SEM or display advertising.
Yeah, I think for us right now, for a while, we were just doing a regular offer, but have been doing testing around personalized offers based on targeting, and to see, does that have an uplift, especially because, if these are supposed to be your friends and family that you're referring to, you want to give them the best offer out there.
Oh, terrific. All right, I think we are out of time. Thank you so much, all three of you, for sharing your insights on your different perspectives on referrals, and thanks for your questions as well.